What's up, everybody? So, E3 has come and gone again. Also, please ignore the sore on my face. There's a lot of stuff to cover, hence the reason that this Tuesday video is going up on a Wednesday. I had to organize some shit. I was going to write a script for this video because there was so much, but I'm just going to rapid fire through all this shit. There will be links to everything in the description as long as I can fit it all in there. That being said, there's going to be stuff that I'm going to miss. There's going to be stuff that I'm not putting in this video either because it's just not on my radar or I just don't give a shit about it. I'm going to talk about the things that I care about and the things that I want to put out there for other people to see. First and foremost, as with this format, just like last time, we're going to start with physical stuff that you can get. There's quite a few of these that came out of E3. There's probably a few more that I just haven't seen yet. This one I haven't heard about. I actually just went to check Ubisoft's website and it was there. This is exclusive to the Ubisoft store online. $189.99 US, I believe. It's a fairly decent package. There are better ones out there right now, trust me, but this is the kind of shit that I live for when it comes to games. It's just collectible shit like this, and that steelbook is fucking gorgeous. And I don't mind the skull. Does it say? Oh, it takes batteries, so it lights up. 38 centimeters. I don't know how that translates into inches, so feel free to do the math. As always, like I said, there will be links down below. Moving on. This is the Cyberpunk 2077 Collector's Edition. Now, this one I have already pre-ordered. I was on this one immediately as soon as it was announced. This is one of the bigger packages, and I can't not give CD Projekt Red my money for what they're doing with games in general. Witcher 3 was a masterpiece just in terms of how much this company cares about their fucking fans, and they are the epitome of what a game company and development process should be. When it's ready, this game's going to be fucking mind-blowing. I'm certain of that. And as such, I'm perfectly willing to pay the $250 price tag on this thing. It's expensive, but it is well worth it in my opinion. You get all this stuff shown. All these stickers are actual stickers that you get, as well as these over here. You get a steelbook case. I don't know what's in here, but it's a evidence bag. It's got stuff in it. It's a guide to Night City. It's in the evidence bag. You get a keychain of the car that you can drive around in, a compendium of the world, a full-scale hardcover art book, a map of the city, a postcard, and all these stickers and pins and all this stuff. In a 10-inch tall statue that is easily one of the best statues I've seen in terms of concept. I can't say whether or not it will be in terms of quality whenever it arrives, but if CD Projekt Red's anal retentive nature of quality in their games is anything to go off of, it's probably going to be one of the best statues I ever fucking own. This is the Doom Eternal Collector's Edition. They announced this at the Bethesda conference. I'm actually kind of excited for this, but I have not pre-ordered it yet because I don't actually have the money right now. But I want to get this steelbook. I don't know if they'll have this steelbook separately, but that's really my biggest concern. This is a very small package, and it costs about $200. And one thing that I find super cool and entertaining about this is they actually are including the soundtrack on a fucking cassette tape, which is amazing to me. You get this nice little lithograph, which is actually kind of big. That'd be a nice thing to like frame and put on a wall. It's really cool, and I'm excited for this game because it's taking you to so many places I never thought Doom would go. I want it, but I might not be able to get it. Also, the helmet is wearable. I don't know that it's going to fit on my big fat head, but hey, it's a thing. I'm not going to be picking up this collector's edition as it's just a little too out of my price range. This thing is going for like $340 retail. As much as I want like the steelbook, I can't justify it because I hate the articulation. This is actually an articulated action figure, and I can't stand that. I would much prefer a static statue to that, and I'm just going to pass on it. I'm going to play the shit out of the game when it comes out on March 3rd, but I'm not going to be picking this one up. But it's there if you guys want it. It is exclusive to the Square Enix store, so you will have to buy it from them. For years, Gears of War has been one of my favorite games to collect collector's editions for. And this one kind of ruined it. I don't like anything with moving parts. I don't like anything with functionality. I want stuff that sits on a shelf and looks pretty. This is not it for me. As much as I want this steelbook, which typically the steelbooks come with the Ultimate Editions of Xbox games as well, so I'll still be able to get that. I want a statue that is more akin, and I'll bring this up here, to the ones that I already have. You have JD Phoenix on his motorcycle here, and Marcus Phoenix looking all fucking brooding right here. That's what I want. I don't want this drone bullshit. I want a real collector's edition. This isn't it for me. I'm going to pass on this one, especially since it's also pretty expensive at like almost $300. So, yeah. It's really up to you guys what you guys want to spend your money on, but some of these collector's editions just aren't for me. Actual game news and not just physical stuff that you can pick up. One thing I do want to mention, I don't have a tab open because I just remembered that it exists. Microsoft did announce a new Elite controller, Model 2 Elite controller with even more features and stuff like that, which is really cool, but for me, the stuff that they added to it isn't stuff I'm ever going to use. It's not something I can justify $180 for. If you're into just having the best, even if you don't really need those features, it's an option. But I'm kind of hoping that this makes the existing Elite controller that much cheaper so that more people can actually experience that, because it is a great thing to have. It really is. But let's talk about games. Before E3 started, THQ started announcing some of its upcoming titles in the form of short little bursts. The first of which was something nobody saw coming, but everybody wanted. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Now, to my knowledge, these games don't have dates yet. It's just basically a generic 2020 date. But I'll definitely be playing that. That's definitely going to happen. The next one was, in my opinion, one of the better trailers that came out of this year's E3. Was easily this one. I'm not playing the music here, but definitely go and watch this because it's definitely a good watch. It's basically a music video for a Rammstein song. It's fucking amazing. But yeah, Destroy All Humans remake. This one actually had a 2020 date, but no specific date, just 2020. So we'll see what happens with this. The other thing that THQ announced was Darksiders Genesis. I haven't actually watched this trailer yet. Professionalism. However, I do understand that this is a Diablo-style game taking place in the Darksiders universe, which kind of makes sense. Because all of the Darksiders games that have come out so far, 1, 2, and 3, you play as a different Horseman of the Apocalypse. And there are 4, so assuming somewhere down the line we're going to get Darksiders 4 and you'll play as that last one, unless they do something weird with it. But having a Diablo-style game, it would be cool to have a 4-player co-op mode where each player plays a different horseman. Like, that makes sense to me, and I honestly want to see that. Okay, so, unfortunately, we have some bad news as well. Not only is Shenmue 3 going to be Epic Game Store exclusive on PC, they're denying people refunds for the Steam codes that they've already purchased. Backers are not getting refunds for the Steam codes they were promised from Yeeznet or Kickstarter, for that matter. And that's basically stealing money from people. People backed that game with the specific intent of playing it on Steam aren't going to get refunds, and they're not going to get a Steam version of the game. As of right now, they have not said that it's any kind of timed exclusivity. It might be permanent for all we know. There really isn't too much information. They just announced it and are just basically saying that they're not going to do anything to fix it. They're not going to do anything to write it. Epic Games gave them a big-ass check, and they're not going to fucking give it up. That's all it's saying. And it's kind of disappointing. I'm planning on playing this on PS4, so it doesn't really affect me. I have a friend that got a physical version of the PC game, and now they're saying it's just going to come with a code. Whether or not it's going to have a disc in there still for the PC version, we don't know. It could just be a fucking plastic case with a fucking card in it with a code for the Epic Game Store. And that's shitty. That's really fucking shitty of them to do. And I really hope that there's enough backlash that they... Okay, so unsurprisingly, given the Collector's Edition announcement and whatnot, CD Projekt Red did show up at the Microsoft conference. This is easily the biggest game at the Microsoft conference, except for one other one. in my opinion. This one being far closer to release. Not by much, though. That made no sense. Either way, one of the best moments of E3 altogether had to be this one, with CD Projekt Red revealing a new character with a celebrity face behind it. You've probably heard about this already, but it is John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. I don't know anything about the original tabletop game for Cyberpunk. However, from what I've heard, he's playing a very well-known character from the original tabletop game called Johnny Silverhand. So I expect him to be a pretty big point of interest in the game, and he'll probably be in it for most of the game at that point. So Microsoft came out and started talking about their console, their new Xbox, Project Scarlet, as they have called it. I'm assuming that's just a working title. It will probably be called Xbox, insert name here, whenever it actually releases, but Project Scarlet is what they're working on it while it's in development, what they're referring to it as while it's in development. One thing that was interesting about the Project Scarlet is it was just a video of these people talking about what they're putting into the Xbox, what their goals are, what their ambitions are with the Xbox, and all of the things that they said were very close to the same stuff that we already learned from Sony about the PlayStation 5. And as of right now, there's probably a lot more to these consoles than has been revealed. Microsoft said that theirs is planning to be out holiday of 2020. So there's plenty of time for them to talk more about the hardware and stuff like that before the release, and you can assume that PlayStation's going to release their console around the same time. But we have SSDs in them. We have literally the identical processors. There was big talk about like almost non-existent load times. The fact that both consoles are going to be capable of 8K output, which is still a speculation, but I assume that's upscaling, because I just can't see that being a thing. Even a year and a half from now, whenever these consoles release, 8K isn't going to be all that affordable yet. So we'll see where it goes, but it looks like these consoles are going to be fairly comparable at launch. Microsoft does still intend on releasing 2 models, so we'll see what model is what and how much they're priced at. There was no price point talked about from either of these, but it's interesting to note that both of these consoles seem to be pretty much identical in terms of hardware as of right now. And alongside the talk of the new Xbox came its first game. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are probably a little bit on edge about this, because there was no talk about this being an exclusive to the next Xbox when it was first announced at last year's E3, I believe. It might have been the year before. But Halo Infinite is a launch title exclusive for the new Project Scarlet Xbox when it releases. That being said, the reasons that we know that it is not going to be running on Xbox One, or Xbox One X for that matter, is because they couldn't get this demo to work. This is, 5.5 minutes, almost 6 minutes demo from Halo Infinite. This is just a cutscene, it's just a cinematic trailer, basically. But from what I heard, from what I understand, the research I did, they could not get this to run on an Xbox One X, and they had to run this on a high-end PC because they don't have a finished version of Project Scarlet yet to run it on. This is still running on a developer kit for Project Scarlet, and this is too much for an Xbox One X. So if you're looking forward to playing Halo Infinite on Xbox One, you probably won't be able to. It's probably going to require the purchase of the new Xbox when it comes out, and it's going to launch day and date with that Xbox. And Phil Spencer specifically said they're doing this because that's the roots of Xbox, is Halo. And a lot of talk about this game is that it's returning to its roots. It's going to be very much like the original series, and that is sort of shown. Let me get to it right here. As you can see, they've recolorized Master Chief, which is awesome. Like, he's not that drab, dark green, just all depressing. Like, I love this armor. I love the look. I love this fucking gorgeous looking trailer. And I'm looking forward to playing this game. But I'll be doing it on the new Xbox. And that's kind of unfortunate for some people. Okay, so Ubisoft didn't really hit home with me all that much this year. A lot of the stuff that they showed was great stuff, but really the biggest thing is going to be what we talk about next. This one is interesting, and I'm curious to see how big this game will be, because the art style is great. It takes place in like a Greek mythology style world. You'll see some Medusas or Gorgons rather, and you see the architecture there, and like there's a harpy here in a second. It's really cool, and it looks like you're playing as Icarus maybe, because he's got the boots on. That's the only thing I can think of. Also, it looks kind of like a female character. I don't know anything about it other than it's made by the people that made Assassin's Creed Odyssey, so the Greek mythology kind of fits. But it's Gods and Monsters is what this is called. I don't remember if it had a release date. Yeah, February 25th. Okay. Definitely going to keep that one on my radar, because I definitely want to see what this game is. If you've ever played Rime, the art style looks almost identical to it. The other thing that Ubisoft announced and confirmed, really, more than anything, is Watch Dogs Legion. And this does have that system that I was concerned with last week, where you can play as any NPC. And that still worries me, because it could very easily break the game. It could very easily ruin the game. And I think my favorite part of Watch Dogs 2 is probably already out of this game. I'm still going to play this, don't get me wrong. But the personality of those characters, I don't think they're going to be able to put that much personality into every single NPC. But one of the things that they showed, one of the more ridiculous things that they showed in this demo is that you... where is it here? Trying to find it. At one point, they take over, or they're playing as an old lady. Don't know how old she is, but she's like an ex-assassin, apparently, according to the trailer. And it's a really cool kind of Ubisoft thing to do. Like, that's the kind of shit that they do really well, is like jokes and gags and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to playing the game. And I'm looking forward to exploring it. And if you watched me play Watch Dogs 2, it's one of those games you can just have fun with. And I look forward to doing just that. I don't know how this system's going to affect the game. I might not like it as much as Watch Dogs 2, but it's sure enough going to be a good time. Alright, on to Bethesda. There's quite a few things from Bethesda that I wasn't expecting. Obviously, the one that I was expecting was Doom. Everybody knew that Doom was coming out this year. Everybody knew they were going to talk about Doom. They were going to show brutality. One thing that was kind of surprising is that right there. Apparently, this Doom is going to take you all sorts of new places. They mentioned heaven, which I assume is what we're seeing on the screen right there. Earth has already been mentioned, hell on Earth. I assume you're going to go back to Mars somehow, some way. Like, this game's going to be ridiculous, and I look forward to playing the shit out of it. I'm hoping to get my hands on that collector's edition as well. But this game's out in October, I believe. I can't remember exactly when, but we'll be playing it this year, and that's all that fucking matters. It's going to be fucking amazing. Fast-paced, just fucking brutal uber violence. I love it so much. One of the other games that they talked about at the Bethesda conference was Deathloop. This game is intriguing to me because I'm not 100% sure what it is. I genuinely have no fucking clue what this game is going to wind up being, because it shows two characters that are constantly trying to fight and kill one another to escape a loop. And one of them's trying to protect something, the other one's trying to destroy it, and the only way for either of them to survive or do whatever it is they're trying to do is to kill the other one. But it seems like such an interesting concept for a co-op, or I guess it wouldn't be co-op, it would be one-on-one multiplayer, but they didn't show or say that it was. It seems like it's a single-player experience made by Arcane Studios, the people behind Prey and Dishonored, and they definitely show like wall running and like almost like a blink ability from Dishonored as well. So like, you can expect similar abilities and stuff like that, but they're constantly trying to kill each other, and then whenever they succeed, it just starts over. And I'm curious to see where this goes. I'm curious to see what it is, because they didn't mention whether or not this was a multiplayer thing or if it was a single-player story-driven experience or what it was, and I want to know. The other thing that came out of Bethesda that I wasn't expecting is made by the same people that make the Evil Within series. And this is a new game. It's not technically a survival horror, they said, but it is.
It's spooky.
Is the most adorable fucking announcer in the world said on stage. This is called Ghostwire Tokyo. And basically the plot that I understand it as is there are people in Tokyo that are vanishing. Now, whenever they first said that, I thought, okay, so people are being kidnapped. And then they showed this trailer, and I think it's right here. You'll see this guy actually just falls out of his clothes. And that was the moment that I started paying attention. I was like, holy shit, this is cool. And then the protagonist is going to show up eventually, I assume. He ignore the thunder. They showed a still image after they showed this trailer. I don't know if it'll show in this trailer or not, but oh wow, I didn't notice the hands on these guys the first time. Like, those must be the enemies. And then the protagonist looks a lot like fucking Ronin from Avengers Endgame. But yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm excited for it. I'm hoping it is, the image that they showed at E3 after they showed this footage showed the protagonist standing on like what looked like a building in the middle of like the Tokyo center. And like you had all the neon and stuff from the city center in Tokyo, and like the idea of a modern Tokyo open world game intrigues the hell out of me, and I'm excited for this. And then easily the biggest surprise to come out of Bethesda's conference had to be new content for Rage. It's genuinely a surprise. I did not expect anything to come for this. They set this up to be like a sitcom intro, but they're actually expanding on the Rage 2 story and so on and so forth. And like it actually looks like they're adding like more bosses and like more places to go and explore and stuff like that. I'm genuinely excited to play more of this game. I'm not sure if I'll stream it or not because I don't know if it's going to be a paid DLC or not. I don't know if I'll have the money with all these collector's editions that are coming out. But they're also adding cheat codes, which they had some that I didn't really play around with. But they're adding more, as well as more vehicles and stuff like that, as you can see here. It generally is just... Rage is a phenomenally fun game. It's not going to win Game of the Year, but if you can pick up Rage and not be entertained by it just for the gameplay, the fun of the gameplay alone, you're not a human being, in my opinion. This game is so much fun. You cannot pick up this game without smiling ear to ear. Okay, on to Square Enix. This has been a big one for a while. They've talked about this game. It was announced years ago. They confirmed that they were going to show it off at E3. I don't have the audio going. Like I said, I don't want to get this video flagged in any way. But this game has a fucking all-star cast as far as voice actors. Troy Baker, Nolan North, and a few others that I don't know as well. But easily the biggest one is Laura Baker, I think her name is. I can't remember. But she does the voice of the main character of Gears 5, which was also announced at the Microsoft conference. They didn't really show much of it, though. But yeah, there's still a lot of speculation as to what this game actually is, because they did talk about how there's not going to be loot boxes, there's not going to be pay-to-win content, which sounds a lot like they're trying to make this into a live service, which has been a theme of debate and rumor for a while in terms of what this game is. They also said that they're going to add more heroes down the line, and they teased Hank Pym as one of them. It looks like they're going to constantly update this game and be on top of doing that sort of stuff. But to what degree they're going to do that, whether it be like a live service style update schedule with like a roadmap, or if it's just going to be, here's your 4-player co-op Avengers game that we're going to add characters to over time. And they did say that everything was going to be completely free, which is surprising. Like, for a game that might be a live service, you wouldn't expect that. But you can assume that the game's going to cost $60 at launch either way, and then everything else would be free. Or if it went free to play, then you would expect to pay for everything else. It's really up in the air at this point. We still don't know. They did announce that it's coming out in May of next year, so we'll find out. And they said they're going to show more of this winter. So we will find out eventually. It does look like some of this footage is gameplay footage, but I don't know if it's pre-rendered gameplay footage or if it's actually like running gameplay footage or how it works, but it looks like it's going to have a decent story, and that's something that's very rare for a live service game. So we'll find out probably more in the winter. I don't know how much they're going to show, but I look forward to it. I'm going to play it, like I said. It's just a matter of what is it going to be. All right. This is a big one for me. Like I said earlier in the video, I never actually played this game when I was a kid or whenever it was like relevant on PS1. I'm excited to play this game and experience it for the first time, even though I do know what happens. I know all the spoilers. I'm excited to experience this game. And they even said in the press conference that this is the perfect point to jump in if you've never played this game before. There's Final Fantasy VII Remake, if you couldn't figure that out. I'm going to skim through this because I want to get to the actual gameplay that they showed. I don't know if they're going to have it here. It might not be here. I don't think it is. Yeah, this one doesn't have the gameplay. But they do have a deluxe edition, which I might pre-order because I want that steelbook. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII, easily my biggest game of show. It looks gorgeous. The only issue I have is supposedly it's still episodic. I don't know how that's going to work, but they did say that this game's going to take up 2 full Blu-ray discs. Mind-blowing. Like, I don't know how much space this is going to take up on my hard drive on my PS4, but this game's going to be fucking massive. And it's going to take people forever to get through, and I look forward to experiencing it for the first time. And I'll probably wind up going back and playing the PS1 version afterward because I want to know the differences and I want to see. The gameplay they showed looked very similar to a demo I used to play of this game on PS1. And I think they have, like, some of those big moments are obviously still going to be in the game. And I look forward to experiencing them again. Like, because I've seen a little bit of it played. I've never played it myself. I've never seen the ending. Like I said, I do know some of the spoilers because this game's historic. Everybody talks about this game and the things that happen in it. I look forward to it. I'm actually really fucking excited. You can tell by my gushing. I'm just fucking going right now. Like, I teared up whenever they showed this gameplay footage at the Square Enix conference. That's how excited I am for this game. Okay, so Nintendo. Nintendo pulled no punches this year. They did a lot of amazing things. They announced a lot of amazing things. Now, I'm leaving Pokemon out because I like Pokemon, but it's one of those things, like, I want to keep Pokemon away from the channel. I don't want it to be a thing that goes on the channel. I played one Pokemon in the past, and that was fine, but I have no intentions of ever doing anything else Pokemon, so we're not talking about Pokemon right now. But Nintendo announced they are working on a sequel to Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. Now, if this game's going to take as long as the first one did to actually come out, we might not see this until there's another Nintendo console. But the fact that they're working on a direct sequel to it just shows you how much that game did for this series. That is easily the opus of the Legend of Zelda franchise, because they very rarely do a direct sequel like that. I want to say the last time they did that was Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Like, it's not common. And then you have direct sequels that come out fucking 20 years down the line to them, like A Link Between Worlds was direct sequel to A Link to the Past. But that was fucking 20 years later. And, like, you never see back-to-back Zelda games that are directly related. That's big. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal. And you can tell this is very early on in development because literally it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. And all it says at the end here, I think it's about to pop up, the sequel to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild is now in development. They don't have a title. They don't have anything else to show. It's like the smallest bit of a tease that they could possibly put into this game. So, I haven't played an Animal Crossing in literally 2 decades. The first one that we got in America on the GameCube was the only one I've ever actually touched. I had fun with it. I don't own a Switch, so I can't really say that I'm going to pick this up. It did get delayed until March, I believe, but that's a good thing. You want a game to be delayed. You don't get upset when a game gets delayed, because that means the game's going to be fucking worth it. That being said, Animal Crossing New Horizons, this is the first time they've shown gameplay. Like I said, they pulled no punches. They gave everybody what they wanted. And specifically me, they gave me something I didn't even know I wanted. This is the game that's going to make me buy a Switch. This is the game that's going to make me fucking go out and spend $300 on a Nintendo console for the first time in a decade. That being said, they announced, I probably won't be able to find it here, but this game's going to have fucking co-op, like online and local co-op. And it's like, I never knew I needed that for a Luigi's Mansion game, but it makes so much fucking sense. It's just like how Keanu Reeves is in Cyberpunk. I didn't know I needed it, but as soon as they fucking announced it, I was like, oh, that's perfectly acceptable. Like, it makes too much sense for me. Like, I can't fight that in any way. But yeah, I'm so excited for this game, and I never played Dark Moon because I never picked it up on the 3DS. But from what I can tell, this one takes place in a hotel. I don't know where Dark Moon took place, but I look forward to this game so much. I really do. Like, the only issue is the original Luigi's Mansion was a game coated in a thick layer of frustration for me because I didn't understand it at the time. I hope this one is easier to pick up and play. Obviously, I'm an adult now, but I could easily see myself breaking a Switch because of this game if it's anything like the first time I played the first one. But yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3, easily my most anticipated thing from Nintendo, and I look forward to playing the shit out of this game if and when I ever get a Switch and this game's out. Okay, so as I said, I'm leaving a lot of stuff out, but I would hate myself if I didn't at least mention this, because this was a surprise for me. Really big one at that. Even the developer, I don't think, anticipated it. But they announced that they're going to be updating Terraria at E3, and like it's just a ridiculous thing. Like, you know, it looks like it's a smaller update, but from the title, Journey's End, I assume this is the final update for Terraria. I assume the developer's going to be moving on after this and doing something new, which I look forward to so much. I love Terraria. I have 700 hours in this game on Steam, and this is easily one of my favorite games of all time. And the fact that it got a presence at E3 in any fucking capacity is just amazing to me, and I love that. I look forward to playing this update when it comes out. I'm hoping to do some streaming of the game on Twitch, whether it be before or after, probably both, this update releases. Yeah, like, it was just a surprise announcement that I just wasn't expecting. Okay, so, like I said, I left a lot of stuff out, like the Banjo-Kazooie being in Smash. That's amazing news, but I just wanted to go through the stuff that I had an interest in, and Smash is very much becoming an online presence, and I don't like online stuff. So, as much as I love Smash Brothers, it's just not really a thing that I care to dive into at this point. It's great that Microsoft and Nintendo are collaborating in such a way, because that opens the door. I would love to see Conker in Smash. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but the main character from Perfect Dark would be awesome. And those are all rare properties that could easily be put into Smash, and it would make perfect sense because they were on Nintendo consoles originally. It's great. I love that. But I just don't like the game all that much. There were other things like Devolver Digital. I'm not even going to fucking put that shit on my channel because it's just fucking insanity. Like, go watch it. It's like 20 minutes of the most insane shit that you will ever fucking see. Devolver Digital's conference is batshit crazy. There's a few other things that I have on my notes here. EA showed off Star Wars. I didn't pull that up. That's genuinely because I forgot. But there really isn't much to it yet. Like the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Like, all I can really say about it is it looks like a sum of its parts. It's very much a Star Wars game combined with the fact that Amy Hennig, if I'm not mistaken, is involved in the development of that game. At one point in the gameplay that they showed, the character starts climbing on a wall, and I'm like, oh, it's Uncharted with lightsabers. That's all it is. I'm going to play the shit out of it when it comes out, but hey, it's Uncharted in the Star Wars universe. What's not to like? Let's see. There was also some smaller games that actually come out fairly soon that I'm actually really excited about. Blair Witch was announced at the Microsoft press conference. That's a really interesting game. It looks very similar to Outlast in terms of, like, you have a camera, you're wandering through the woods at night, and, like, it looks really cool and creepy, and I'm gonna enjoy the shit out of it. Let's see. Ubisoft announced Uplay Plus, where you basically get it's a subscription service for their games similar to EA Access. We talked about the Shenmue stuff. Backers were upset by it. THQ stuff's already been covered. Outer Worlds got a trailer and a release date. It is still coming to PS4, but I feel like because they were acquired by Microsoft, for me at least, I'm going to wind up getting it on the Xbox because I want to, if there is a sequel to it down the line, I'm going to want them both in the same place. That's just me. That's how I play games. Other than that, big one that I forgot to mention is Microsoft did acquire Double Fine Productions. If you're not familiar with Double Fine, they made Psychonauts, Brutal Legend, Stacking, Costume Quest. There's a whole slew of games that have Double Fine attached to them. And every one of them is different from the last. None of them are the same. It's crazy how much variety they have in their fucking catalog of games. And I think it's a perfect fit for Microsoft. But at the same time, that freedom, that creativity might not be as prominent with Microsoft. Microsoft is notorious for shoehorning in things that they wanted back in the day, and they've been good about that not being that way for a while now, but if they regress into that, Double Fine could see its end because of it. Like, the Double Fine we knew might be at risk if Microsoft decides to be assholes about it. Who knows if they will. But that's pretty much all of the E3 news. This is a super fucking long video. These will not be this long if I continue to do them weekly. I just didn't feel good yesterday. That's why it was a day late. But yeah, typically these videos will be up on Tuesday. If you made it to the end of this fucking ridiculous video, I thank you for watching. I hope that this video was informative. If there's anything you want me to cover in the next one, which I plan to do it weekly on Tuesdays, let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you thought of the video, one way or the other. And I will see you next time. Until then, I love you all. Ta-ta.